Understanding tax compliance is essential for anyone doing business in the United States, especially for foreign nationals and non-residents. If you need to file taxes in the U.S. but aren't eligible for a Social Security number, an Individual Taxpayer Identification Number, or ITIN, might be necessary. An ITIN is a 9-digit tax processing number issued by the Internal Revenue Service. It always begins with the number 9 and has a 7 or 8 as the fourth digit. The IRS created ITINs specifically for individuals who have tax filing obligations but don't qualify for a Social Security number. Many people confuse the different tax identification numbers used in the United States. An ITIN is for individual tax reporting by foreign nationals and others without SSN eligibility. A Social Security number is for U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and authorized workers. An Employer Identification Number, or EIN, is for businesses and serves as your company's tax ID. Contrary to common belief, foreign entrepreneurs do not need an ITIN to start a business in the United States. What you actually need is an EIN, which functions as your business's Social Security number. However, if you're a sole proprietor or single-member LLC owner without an SSN, you may need both an ITIN for your personal tax filings and an EIN for your business. Who specifically needs an ITIN? The IRS issues them to non-resident aliens filing U.S. tax returns, foreign nationals with U.S. tax obligations, spouses and dependents of U.S. citizens, or resident aliens who can't obtain an SSN, and foreign investors claiming tax treaty benefits. Remember that an ITIN does not provide work authorization or immigration status. The application process requires completing IRS Form W-7. You'll need to provide proof of identity and foreign status. A valid passport is the only document that can stand alone as proof. Otherwise, you'll need to submit 2 separate documents such as a birth certificate, national ID card, or visa. Most applicants must also include their federal tax return when submitting the ITIN application, unless they qualify for an exception. There are 3 ways to submit your application: by mail to the IRS ITIN Processing Center, through an IRS authorized acceptance agent who can verify your documents, or in person at an IRS Taxpayer Assistance Center with an appointment. The processing time typically takes 7 weeks, though it may be longer during tax season. Once issued, your ITIN doesn't expire unless you don't use it on a tax return for 3 consecutive years. For business operations, remember that an EIN is required for all business entities, including corporations, LLCs, partnerships, and even sole proprietorships with employees. You can obtain an EIN even if you're not a U.S. citizen, as long as your business operates within the United States. ITINs must be renewed if they expire before you file your next tax return. The renewal process involves submitting Form W-7 again with updated identification documents. To summarize, an ITIN is a tax processing number for individuals who need to file U.S. taxes but don't qualify for an SSN. While not required to start a business, it may be necessary for tax compliance, depending on your situation. Business owners typically need an EIN for their company operations, and some may need both an ITIN and an EIN. Understanding which identification numbers you need is crucial for proper tax compliance when doing business in the United States.